Another story. It's kind of driving me crazy because I just think how stupid everyone is all the time. And if I were king for the day, I would change a lot of things. But the end of Airbnb in New York is upon us. This is as of September 5th, so just a couple weeks. Thousands of Airbnbs or other short-term rentals are expected to disappear from New York as it begins enforcing tight restrictions. I feel like I can't read today. Thousands of Airbnbs will be wiped off the map in New York City. Local Law 18, which came into force Tuesday, is so strict it doesn't limit how Airbnbs operate in the city. It pretty much bans them outright and for many guests and hosts. From now on, all short-term rentals in New York must register with the city, and only those who live in a place that they're renting and are present when someone is staying can qualify, and then they're only allowed to have 2 guests. So
wow.
if I want to rent an Airbnb, I got to live with a New Yorker, and I can only have 2 people that can come. So myself and my wife could go, but I couldn't bring children to New York. Seems fine to me. Gone are the days of sleek downtown apartments, outfitted bachelorette parties, cozy 2- and 3-bedroom apartments near museums, and even the option for people to rent out their apartment for weekends while they're away. That's what a lot of New Yorkers do, apparently. Mm-hmm. They'll go away for the weekends, and then they'll rent out because the tourists will come on the weekends, and then they supplement their insanely high cost of living, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I made a few bucks, right? Here's where it drives me so crazy. I want to just lose it because I don't know if it's the article or the people. Short-term rentals can bring noise, trash, and danger, and they can price local residents out of their own neighborhoods. So noise,
I agree with the
trash,
fourth, but not the why would Airbnbs bring more noise, trash, and violence or unsafe?
danger. It just says danger.
Oh, and danger than anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
because
yes, they will price people out of the market. Yes, that's a definite concern. But
yeah. But is it pricing people out of the market when we were just saying a lot of people do it on the weekends to make themselves a few extra bucks? They live in there anyway. That house is not for sale.
Yeah, I would argue though that obviously there's a lot of nuance that would have to go into this, but I would argue the reason why these rents are high to begin with is because of lackadaisical laws regarding short-term rentals and vacant properties. So, again, we solve those 2 problems and the rent isn't so crazy high anymore, reducing the need to have to rent your place out for short-term rentals to have to cover your rent, right? Yes, there's more nuance in it. Yes, it's not a direct comparison of like, oh, it's because of this exactly, but there's a lot of things that will compound to make rent way too high.
Let me tell you what I think. Here's what I think.
Yeah.
It's on the next sentence here. Airbnb is popular with some 66 million visitors a year looking for accommodations that are cheaper and sometimes larger than hotels. And that's where I think is where my conspiracy theory kicks in. In 2022 alone, short-term rental listings made 85 million in New York. So larger than hotels. Remember when Uber came to New York?
Yeah.
And the New York taxi, what do they call them? Coins or something?
They're
medallions.
Medallions, yeah.
Medallions. I knew it was like a coin thing.
Yeah.
They lost their mind. They petitioned, they
Yep.
sued, they had a monopoly. They were the only ones allowed to drive other people around.
Cabbies, yes, yeah.
They would generationally donate down or give down. Why can't I say words today? Inherit like the medallions to their family, right? That's what would happen. So they lost their minds. Now Airbnb comes in and interrupts the hotel industry, who's owned by billionaires and conglomerates, and maybe they glad hand more with the politicians than the local Airbnb person that's trying to make ends meet. And they say, we need to have a law saying that these are dangerous places. So if they're so dangerous, then wouldn't it be the exact same people coming to your hotel, making your hotel with the trash and noise and danger, but just in a hotel, and therefore they're okay with it?
Yeah.
So
it's weird.
It's exactly what's happening. I'm not stupid. Like,
I don't know how much. It would be. I haven't watched this, but there's a documentary that I didn't watch because to me it doesn't make sense. But maybe I should go back and watch it now about short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRPO, and hotels, and how the industry actually doesn't affect the hotels.
Oh,
And I don't know why. I didn't read. I haven't watched the documentary, so I don't know. But now I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
where was it? Netflixy thing?
Yeah, no, it's on YouTube. It was an economist documentary, I think. I like to watch, like, anyway. It's something about like why hotels aren't scared of Airbnb, I think was the title. And I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a firm believer. I think Airbnbs, VRBOs, they serve a purpose that's awesome. I think they're not going away anytime soon, but I can really see some restrictions, not just in New York, but everywhere for Airbnbs, more like we're seeing in the Crow's Nest Pass and stuff, because it is affecting a lot of smaller towns, right? Like Fernie, if you live in Fernie, like, good luck.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just a lot of people that own houses and don't live there. They're just Airbnb-ing their stuff out instead of renting it to the guys that work on the hill or whatever. And I mean, that's going to devastate that whole region if employees can't afford to live in the places that they're working. Well, they're just not going to work, and then, well, there goes all of the everything. I mean, and it's all based on short-term rentals. I mean, they're devastating areas like that. So there needs to be something happening.
But why is it always governmental? Don't you think something else could just?
Well, because we as a society obviously aren't smart enough to do it ourselves, right? I mean, like, there's always going to be a portion of our society that sits back and looks and says, well, like, look what's happening out in the Crow's Nest Pass with these short-term rentals. Something needs to happen about it. And then the other part of society says, well, I want to buy more properties out there. Screw your regulations, and I'm going to put in more and make the problem even worse, because I don't think it's a problem. I want to make more money. So but it is a problem, right? We're not smart enough as a society to deal with it ourselves, so we need somebody to come in.
Just figure it out. So that's why I should be king today. So instead of banning people from being able to make money and do what they want with their lives, why don't they incentivize a developer to come in there and put in 1,000 condo townhouses for workers at a good price, and the government will subsidize it. You don't have to send stupid money all over the world. Send us 100 million and let's fix Fernie or whatever.
Or wherever it is. Yeah, no, I mean, there's obviously other solutions.
Everyone, like, government, this is government. I make 62,000 a year, therefore no one else can make money. That's what I hear every time they say this. And it's like, okay, so for 100 years, I could go buy a hotel and run it, no problem. I could go buy an apartment building in Saskatchewan, no problem. I could be a landlord anywhere I want. But the second I go, ooh, you know what? I want to run as a landlord/hotel, they freak out. It's the same thing. I didn't do anything different, right? I can go buy it tomorrow. Not me. Sure.
I mean, you have the right to do absolutely anything, but it all comes down to the thing that you have a right to do and start doing, as long as it isn't negatively affecting other people, then continue to do it. But
they can't.
If it starts to negatively affect a whole region, then something needs to happen about it.
But banning growth isn't better than expanding on growth. So
I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying that there's no other solution. There is. Yeah. It's just we're also, as a community or a society, not smart enough to do it.
I should talk to that Triple M guy again. I mean, ADLs, okay. Instead of banning ADLs, let them drop them. I want one in my backyard tomorrow. No. That's your single family. You can't do that. No, you just told me there's a problem here, right?
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. It's so stupid. Like, yeah, there's problems. There are obvious solutions that are super easy to solve, but because the government or whatever in charge isn't going to make the extra little money, well, then it's no. I mean, and then it goes back to what we talked about last week. So is this really a problem you want to solve? Because there are solutions, you're just not taking it. Just like,
the crazy thing is that solution, let's say the ADLs, that would make a very good business, a local business owner, even more profitable. Is that the problem? Well, he can't be selling too many properties. Like, wait a minute, I pay a lot of taxes to live here. I want to buy from a local guy that develops here, and I want to drop here, and I want to make it easier for someone to rent. Instead of, by the way, I have one about 3 blocks that way. I charge $1,750 a month. And okay, what if I put one over here and I charge $400 a month or $500 a month for a little drop ship thing or ADL? Okay, there, I've solved the problems, but the problem never goes that way. Here's the government goes, can we ban them from doing something? And you're like, okay, thank you. Now we haven't fixed anything, but now everyone hates you, and you've just stymied not only the people that can't afford rent, but now the investors who are making less money. So now both people made less money. Instead of more people making more money, government is a suppression unit. Ugh.
I mean, how many times do we see it where people make decisions that negatively impact everybody involved, when just a simple other decision would have positively impacted everybody involved? And it's just like, no, there's no reason for it. It's just, no, I just want to do this. No, it's stupid. Even with the city in like our situation, for how many years did the city say, no, you can't put up a garage with a suite on top?
Yeah.
For what purpose? Why can't I? Why can't we? It just adds more. It's perfect. It's a perfect solution. No, you can't do it. Well, why not? Well, because
trash and danger, Joel. Trash
and now they're like, oh yeah, no, absolutely put up garages with suites. So we see them all the time, and then in 5 years it's gonna go, oh no, you can't do that anymore. Well, why not? The problem still is there. We still have a homeless problem. We still need housing. Why not let us build it? It's so stupid. There's no it frustrates me to no end. But
you know what they also talk about? So we're talking about, they're like, well, you're negatively impacting the community by having these things here. Community says these rules are a blow to our tourism economy and thousands of New Yorkers and small businesses in the outer boroughs who rely on some home sharing for tourism dollars. So they're thinking, well, big downtown, go to the hotels that are right downtown New York. You're like, cool. But what if someone's like, oh, I want to go and live in the boroughs and I want to go to a local pizza shop and I don't want to pay $19 for a Starbucks? What he says is the tourism dollars help me make ends meet, says Theo Yedinsky. He's a city, anyway, he works in the city there and he runs a local place. But what they're saying is essentially, you're not welcome. Sorry, go downtown and stay. And that's exactly the problem. So we're solving problems, but we're never looking at all of the solutions. You're like, oh, well, the hotel said so. And I know it comes to the who has the most money to lobby the government the most. And that's who wins, right? So yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
All comes back to my complaint of all of these stupid rules, all of these stupid decisions, all of it. It's all because somebody needs to make more money.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets negatively impacted just so somebody or some corporation can make more money. And that's why I have a problem with capitalism.